On today's episode, we're going to be talking about general health, mental health, touch on the subjects of diets and supplements and macros and what you are training for. This is the second episode of the Spartan Podcast. What's up, guys? How is it? This is the not saying how is it. That's terrible. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? This is the second episode of the Spartan Podcast. So yeah, when the Spartan Chamber opened, Ryan was telling me how he didn't actually realise how much impact mental health had on people. So let's discuss
massively.
that.
So when we first opened, I'd say I didn't probably take into consideration the amount of people that would be joining the gym just through more of a mental health point of view rather than anything else. At the moment, I'd say 60 to 70% of people that come to Spartan Chamber probably are doing it more for their mind more than anything else.
Yeah, well, same with me personally. I know I didn't start my fitness journey here, but when I started, obviously I did it to get in shape. And then probably about less than a month into it, I realised people used to say, oh, if you have a week off, you feel weak, you feel depressed and everything. But I actually felt quite uncomfortable because going made me feel good. It's obviously mental health and everything. It just made me feel good. So if I ever had any time off, it would impact me negatively, like massively as well.
Yeah. And
mainly for me personally, it also comes down to diet as well, not just going to the gym and training. So with the diet, I found this like nice little zone. So if I'm training well and I'm eating well, I'm in this really good zone, I'm progressing, I'm building. If my training kind of slacked a little bit, maybe during certain periods of the year, maybe over Christmas or something, if my diet is still kind of on point, I find myself in this really good zone, and in my head I feel really good as well. Despite not actually going to the gym and training with people, I feel quite good. But on the flip side, if my diet kind of slacked a little bit, which I do like my food, I do eat, I eat junk food regularly as well, and I like to live a bit. I love to drink alcohol, occasionally. But if I drop my diet slightly, even if my training stayed, I kind of get out of that nice little zone. I kind of start going downhill a little bit because I'm fueling my body with bad things, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I think a lot of people as well, is that old analogy that it comes back to is if you eat shit, look shit, feel shit, and it all comes down to that at the same time.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
Has a massive knock-on effect, even when you come down to the likes of the amount of times you're sleeping throughout the day. I remember my uncle always saying to me, he said, if he goes to bed at 10 o'clock every night and I'm going to bed at 11, by the end of the week, he's had a whole night's sleep extra than me. And when I took that on board, I thought, that's actually quite crazy, especially if you start breaking it down and he's going to bed 2 hours before me, he's having 2 nights extra sleep than me. And then that starts having a knock-on on your performance, your everyday life, start feeling grouchy, you start making poor decisions when it comes to diet. Everything has a knock-on effect just from your sleep pattern as well at the same time.
Yeah, when I started the gym a few years ago, I started and I had the only goal was to lose weight. I didn't actually care about, I wanted to be muscular, but I went about it the wrong way. I kind of look at people doing that now and I don't really understand their thought process, but it's exactly what I did. So I was just trying to lose weight. I didn't even calorie count, mate. So yeah, I wasn't even in a deficit. So now I do calorie count sometimes, but I found that when I started counting my calories when I was at my biggest, my experiment was, right, I'm not going to diet, I'm just going to see how much I'm eating. And I was massively over my target goal. And then kind of like looking at it logically, no wonder I felt bad because I was just continuously gaining weight. I know very slowly, but I was always feeling that bad. And as I was gaining weight over the years, I was probably feeling worse about it because I'm quite, even to this day, feel slightly self-conscious. I think I'm always going to have that in my mind because I've always been a little bit bigger. Wearing clothes out in public, especially in the summer, was really uncomfortable. But it all came down to the diet, and it's ridiculous how easy it would have been to change back then, but I didn't. It's absolutely unreal.
Yeah, mate, definitely. I have a lot of clients come in just over the last year, really, last 2 years, that come in and they say their main target a lot of the time is to lose weight. They're saying they're doing everything they can at the time, but they don't seem to be able to do it. I'll ask them a simple question of how many calories you consume in a day. They'll always come back and say 90% of the time, I'm not even sure. that blows my mind. How can you say that you don't understand that you're losing weight if you're not prepared to count your calories? And then it all comes down to what are those calories actually made up of at the same time. So I was literally having this conversation about 2 minutes ago with someone about, say, if someone that's on a 2,000 calorie restriction diet, they could take all of those calories and that could be made up of just purely fat. And I said, and he was arguing the fact that those 2,000 calories are still 2,000 calories. And I said, yeah, but your body composition is going to look completely different if those 2,000 calories are made up of, say, 40% protein, 40% carbs, 20% fat. Granted, you're still both having 2,000 calories at the same time, but your body composition is going to look massively different, obviously depending on whether you're an ectomorph, endomorph, mesomorph, and what your target is. Is it just for weight loss? Is it to gain muscle? Is it for performance? And then that's obviously the decisions you need to make when you look to take in what you want to look like, whether you want to lose weight or gain weight seriously.
Yeah, over the past year, I kind of went from my heaviest straight down to my lightest, no stop. It just completely dropped. I wanted to kind of, like most people do, tone up, maybe build a bit of muscle and everything. So, kind of taught myself, obviously I did a course in the end, but I'd kind of taught myself how to do that, learned about macros and everything, learned about supplements as well, because to be completely honest, I'm not a massive fan of supplements. So when it does come to supplements, I do take whey protein. For me personally, that is a must. Not must, but if you want to build some muscle, I class it as a superfood rather than a supplement, if you get what I mean. You can go to Holland & Barrett or bodybuilding.com and just buy all of these supplements which you take as a tablet or whatever. But yeah, I class it as a superfood, and learning about macros and stuff just on MyFitnessPal, which is a free app as well. A lot of people would find that very boring as such. Like, what, I haven't got time to weigh my food. I haven't got time to do this. But I found over the last few years, it's also taught me how to kind of guess how much food weighs and stuff. So I kind of don't really track my calories anymore, and I kind of know roughly what my macros are because I kind of eat the same sort of things over the months. It's just like a new skill you develop. If I wanted to have a snack or something, I was making a snack, I'd make it and I'd know roughly what it is. And if I put it into the app, I'm probably like a little bit off. But yeah. if you don't learn that skill, and you wanted to make a snack or something or anything, you don't know how many numbers are in that snack. You don't know how many calories it is and how bad it is or how good it is. So it can escalate. It can get very bad. Your calorie target could just go through the roof, and you might not even know, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. At the end of the day, people find it quite daunting. When people talk about macros, all it is a fancy word for your protein, carbs and fat split. Like, people like to use big words, especially on Instagram.
Just sounds technical.
Yeah, exactly. It's just technical. All it is the nutrients that are going into your body. And like you just said there, right, to be honest, your supplement should be just that. It should be a supplement. It shouldn't be what your body is living off. It's not a substitute. It is a supplement to be added on at the same time. Mate, it's a massive thing. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to what are you actually training for. For example, are you entering a bodybuilding competition? If you're not, why are you eating what you are eating? Are you entering a marathon? Are you just doing it for maintenance? Are you just trying to lose or gain a pound? The diet needs to be realistic to what your actual goal is.
Yeah, and also being a trainer, obviously I've kind of come off of the personal training side of things and just doing groups and online. I still get asked all the time, what supplements should I take? And this is for people who just want to lose weight. This is people who want to build muscle. This is everybody, no matter what their goal is. One of their questions always is, what supplement should I take? What do you recommend? What do you take? And I say the same thing like I said earlier. I take whey protein because it's a superfood. It's a really good way of just filling in those gaps in your protein target. And that's that, I can't really give too much advice on other supplements because I don't personally take them. And I don't have any interest in taking them either because I don't personally need it for my goal.
Nah, exactly. And I think at the same time, if your diet is where it should be, people should be looking more closely at their diet than they should their supplements.
Yeah, it comes down to what I said earlier. If your food's on point, not on point to the fact that you're eating absolutely, I say in quote marks, clean all the time. If you're eating well, really well, and you're kind of looking at what you're eating, you're not drinking all the time, you're not eating every single night, and you're sticking to a rough goal, you will stay in a nice little zone. You will stay in the zone. And as I said earlier, I find my training can kind of fluctuate. I could have like a period where I'm training all the time really hard. I could have a period where I'm training not a lot. But if my food's okay, if my diet's okay, if my numbers are okay in my diet and my macros are okay, I will stay in this little zone, and it's okay. I feel good all the time as well.
A big problem I tend to see with people that we put onto, say, diet plans, they tend to go through the week. So say, for example, we've dropped their calories down by 200 calories a day. Throughout the week, they've reduced it all by 200 calories. They then go for this magic cheat meal that everyone thinks that they deserve because they've not eaten anything bad for 6 days. They go for their magic cheat meal on a Sunday, consume a Domino's pizza at 3,000 calories, for example. They've then managed across the week to accumulate more calories than they would have originally if they'd just been eating normally.
They've just filled their deficit up.
Yeah, they've just filled the deficit up, and then they wonder why they've not lost weight at the end of the week.
I also find, this is on a personal thing for me, I didn't set out to be like this, but a lot of people who came to me for the training side of things when I started at Spartan Chamber, they wanted to go full on 100% diet, 100% training. One, I don't actually recommend doing that because you're going to find that boring after about a week anyway. And two, unless you're actually training for something, I think it's very unsustainable. So for me personally, if you want to be fit, healthy, not necessarily six-pack healthy, but just fit, in shape, able to do stuff, feel comfortable in your skin, you need to have it as a lifestyle change. You need to be able to keep this sort of fitness level and health level, this lifestyle. You need to be able to maintain that for basically forever. A lot of people, I think, maybe think you go on a diet, you do this training, eat all this food, you become fit, and then you're a fit person.
Yeah.
But if you went on a temporary diet, this is why I don't like fads, not naming names, but fads you'll find in the shops. I don't like these diets which you go on for like 30 days, drop loads of weight. The thing is, if you do that and then you stop that diet and you go back to your normal ways, you're just going to gain the weight back. It's really obvious when you speak out loud about it.
Mate, you've hit the nail on the head there. When you say it's more of a lifestyle change than anything else, it shouldn't be a diet. It should be a lifestyle change that you've managed to accumulate over an amount of time. I'd say down here, for example, if I can use someone's name, Mr. Tom Morgan, probably the guy that's in the most incredible shape down. Big Tom. He's in the most incredible shape down here. He has accumulated that over the last 20 years of getting to know how his body works, what his body reacts to, what works for him now. That's taken him 20 years to get into that. It's not something that suddenly happened overnight. It's been bodybuilding for the last 20 years. People tend to come in the gym, they look at someone like that, for example, and they go, I look like that guy within the space of 6 months. It's not going to happen.
Not a chance. And then also, it doesn't mean... the whole message, not trying to say you have to make a lifestyle change and become a bodybuilder or become a gym goer. All it means is everybody in the world has got 20 minutes spare a day. So if you've got 20 minutes spare, you don't have to go to the gym for that 20 minutes. Just be active for 20 minutes. Eat well. You don't have to track your macros and eat absolutely on point every day. It's just cutting the crap out a little bit, being a bit more active, and then over a year, 2 years, your lifetime, it will just gradually make a change.
Small, sustainable changes.
Exactly. So we've got a quote on the board. Do you want to read it? Because I can't really read it.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite quotes we've got here at the moment. So it's, don't be angry at the results you don't get from the effort you don't put in, which is something I see a lot of the time. I see people moaning about other people getting to where they want to be. But at the same time, if you're not prepared to put in that effort level, I feel at the moment with social media, people see all these ripped and in-shape people all the time. They don't realise, they seem to think that's sort of everyday life now. It's not. These people that you're seeing at the top of their game have spent years and years getting into that shape.
And also, half the time, it's their job. Their job is to post these amazing pictures, which are photoshopped as well, you've got to bear in mind. And it's their job to work out all day, every day, and the meals get supplied to them for free.
Exactly.
You've got to bear that in mind. But yeah, as that quote says, if you put half the effort in, you're going to get half the results.
Exactly.
That's exactly down to it. Yeah, so I think we're kind of for time already because we didn't realise on the last episode it's 15-minute time cap on the Instagram TV. Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. And again, we will see you on the next one.